Hey everyone, today I'm going to be using the Surface Inks to do a little bit of ink blending, just using a ink blending tool. And I'm using Zest, Wagon, Aubergine, and Locomotive. So I love these inks for blending. They go on together really well. They blend together very smoothly. They are permanent, so you might want to put a piece of scratch paper behind your project so to protect your surface. They do come off with some of the squeaky clean, but unlike other inks, they are permanent. Which is a really good thing. I love that because once you add different mediums on top of it, like glossy accents or something, they don't run. But just to protect your surface, I'd put a piece of scratch paper down. So I'm using just a regular ink blending tool. I'm picking up some of that ink and blending it on from the side. I start off of my paper and then blend onto my paper with a circular motion. Now I am going to speed up the video just because blending sometimes can take quite a little time just to get a really good blend. You want to keep working at it. So here's a few tips when you're trying ink blending. Like I already mentioned, start off of your paper first and blend on using really a light hand, and that will help your ink to go on a little bit smoother. Don't expect it to look really smooth right at first. You're going to have to work at it. And if you use ink foam that is a little bit broken in, like you've used it before, it actually blends the ink on better than a brand new one. So that's just because it's a little bit more worn down, it's got a little bit more ink saturation on it. So I like to really work with my ink foam pads a lot because as they wear down, they actually work better, at least in my case. So I'm just going ahead and putting on my colors. I'm not going to be done with one coat. I'm going to go back and work at each color and just blend them together, getting a nice ink blend and a nice graduation of colors. So since this is kind of a sunset background, I'm starting with the Zest on the bottom, moving up to the Wagon, and then some Aubergine and Locomotive. So it looks like a sunset. It looks like it's going from light to dark in the sky, but you have all that beautiful color and it really blends together really well. Another thing when you're ink blending is it might not look great at first, but if you walk away and come back about 10 minutes later, it might look like it has spread out a little bit, and that's just because the ink will take some time to kind of soak into the paper as well. So as you can see, I'm just going back and I'm adding more coverage of color. I'm just working at it so that I can get all these colors blended together really well. And they do kind of create new colors if you blend them together. So the Zest and the Wagon, right when they're blending together, they're kind of creating an orange as well. So I really love these surface inks. They really work well for blending, which is one of my favorite techniques. So even though this video is sped up, you can see that it really does take a little bit of elbow grease to get your blends looking really well and looking like they have covered your whole page, if that's the look you're going for. So sometimes you do have to really work at it. So now that I have my background all blended, I'm going to be adding my little pieces from the rest of the stamp set. Here's a little sentiment that I already have stamped out. I have it on a little banner, and I'm going to be coloring in these little letters with my style file markers. Now these are alcohol markers, and I love them for blending, and I'm not an expert, but I think they blend really well. So I'm putting down a little bit of light lavender, and then I'm going to blend in a few other colors as well. So when I'm blending, I like to use the lightest color first and then put down a few more shades darker and then blend them together. So you'll see what I mean here. I'm going to grab another shade darker. This is actually a blue. And the purples and the blues, they blend together really well. So I'm putting a little bit of that on the bottom of these letters. I'm going to kind of try to get it to look like it's going from dark up to light color. So now that I have some of that blue on there, you can see I'm showing you the number in case you're interested. I'm going to be going in with another blue that's a little bit darker and just putting a tad bit on the bottom of these letters. Not very much at all. And then once my color is on, I'm going to go ahead with my lighter color and then just blend them out again. So I'm doing a little bit more blue, and then I'll go in with a little bit more lavender as well. and it just really gives you a really fun look to these letters. It helps them go from a blue to a purple, and the colors blend together fabulously. I really love these. I can't really compare them to any other alcohol markers because they're the only ones I've ever owned, but I can say I am not interested in getting any other alcohol markers. These work great for me, and I'm just going to stick with these and kind of build my collection. Now, if you do go out of the lines, you can take a white gel pen and kind of cover up any mistakes you may have made. It's a really quick, simple way to make your coloring look great. So I've gone ahead and I've put that sentiment up there, and I'm adding my other little elements down using some liquid glue and some foam adhesive. And like I've mentioned before, I like that these surface inks are permanent, so if I put some liquid glue on top, they're not going to run all over the place. They're still going to hold their color and look great. I've got my little balloon here. I'm adhering him on some foam adhesive, and that's almost the card. I'm just going to be putting a little strip of washi tape on the side, and that'll finish it off. So hopefully this gives you a nice little look at how to blend your inks. It is pretty easy. It might take a little bit of elbow grease and a little bit of time to get it to look the way you want it, but I just encourage you to keep working at it, keep playing with your blending tools and work in those foam pads, because that's really going to help in your future blending. So thanks so much for watching. I hope I'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Bye.